All right, let's start by looking at the question, seeing what they want from us. The student wants to contrast the emissivity of reflective metal fibers with that of silicon carbide fibers. Well, there's a lot of stuff I've never heard of before. I don't know what emissivity is. I've literally never heard that word, but I know what contrast means. So I'm going to focus on the word I know. I know I want a contrast. So let's see if we can find that. Let's start with the bullets. This physicist was working on a garment suited for both warm and cold conditions. No, not a contrast. He analyzed the emissivity or ability to emit heat of the materials he planned to use. Okay, so that might be important. This person found that reflective metal fibers emitted almost no heat and had an emissivity of 0.02. He found that silicon carbide fibers absorbed large amounts of heat and had an emissivity of 0.74. So right there, they're talking about how they're different, right? One had no heat, one had lots of heat, one has this number, one has that number. The amount of heat a material absorbs is equal to the amount of heat it emits. Okay, maybe that matters, but clearly the contrast is between these two things, these two findings. So let's see what we get in the choices. The ability of reflective metal fibers and silicon carbide fibers to emit heat was determined by analysis of each material's emissivity. Yeah, well, okay, that's fine, but it doesn't say there was a contrast, right? It's just saying that we did this method to discover this, but it's not saying what we discovered, and the contrast is the discovery. So this is not getting into that. The amount of heat a material absorbs is equal to the amount, no, this has nothing to do with anything. C, though the reflective metal fibers and silicon carbide fibers had different rates of emissivity, this person planned to use both in a garment. Okay, maybe. I mean, it says that they're different, so maybe that's fine. I don't know. I'd love it to be more specific, though. D, whereas the reflective metal fibers had an emissivity of just 0.02, the silicon carbide fibers absorbed large amounts of heat, resulting in an emissivity of 0.74. Yeah, that's definitely it, right? I mean, it's literally just taking these two bullets and kind of putting them together, and that's what we were tasked to do, right? To contrast the emissivity of reflective metal fibers with that of silicon carbide fibers. I don't care how he used this information, right? That was not my task. It was all about this particular contrast. So yes, they say other things in these bullets about what this physicist did and why this might have been useful, but they didn't ask us to provide that information. It's definitely D. That's the one that just gives us the information that we were asked for. So that's why the question in these outlines is so important. Just like stick to what they want. Don't worry about other information. You're going to leave stuff behind. That's okay. Just give them what they want and nothing else.